Nikki McCray is in the house tonight. Carla McGhee is in the house tonight. And Dawn Staley with us this evening.
I got to take a picture with her.
That's big time.
I'm going to post it as soon as I get home. Yes. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm ridiculous, but it's okay. All right, so...
By the way, we're not done.
Okay.
We have two of the architects. We got Renee Brown in the house tonight. And the coach, the leader of this esteemed group,
Tara.
VanDerveer is here with us. Someone had to put it together.
Okay, so this is the moment where we talk about passion and commitment and someone seeing an opportunity to tell a story, a unique story that had never been told. So I want to give a big, major shout out to the director of this film, Kristen Lappas.
I remember early in the process, Kristen just like sending back like all these photos from the shoots, and it'd be her and like Cheryl Swoops, and it'd be her and Lisa Leslie, and her, you know, and with Kristen being the daughter of a college coach, she was just like, I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. This is my dream project, and it shows. Her passion, Kristen, your passion shows up on the screen, and you have done such justice to these women.
Indeed.
It's phenomenal. Great job.
Thank you so much, Kristen.
And we have, I have to have my Carol Stiff sheet of paper.
Yeah, because we'll be in big trouble.
Carol will definitely eviscerate us if we do not mention some of the greats from USA Basketball.
Correct. So we've got Jim Tooley, Carol Callahan. Then we have also our posse from the NBA, Kathleen Reedy. Ready? Reedy. David Denenberg.
Russ Granite couldn't make it here with us tonight, but he was such a huge part of this project, and we we're going to miss him in the room tonight.
Yep. And Rick Welts.
And then for us, you know, one of our favorites, and one of the absolute bosses who, kind of from a business standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, made so much of what we get to experience in the women's game possible. The one and only Val Ackerman is here tonight. You know, over the course of the storytelling that we're doing for 50/50, Val is like...
Not in one, but two of our films.
Two of our films. Val is that Forrest Gump character who is at seminal moments within the evolution of just the exposure and the marketing of women's sports, like writ large. So we're really excited to have her here tonight.
Yeah, so I think this is the time.
Yes.
Okay, and I do believe many of the players of this seminal team have not seen the film yet. So this is super exciting.
We hope you do you proud.
We really do hope that you love this film as much as we do.
Yeah, this is a humble endeavor, and so without further ado,
the world premiere of Dream On.
Thank you so much for coming. This was absolutely incredible. My name is Andraya Carter. I'm a basketball analyst, sports reporter for ESPN. Very honored to be here to introduce our panelists and speak with these amazing women. I'm going to introduce Kristen Lappas. She is an Emmy Award-winning director, the director of this film. And on that couch, the number of gold medals, conference championships, national championships between Tara VanDerveer and Dawn Staley is probably over 50, 100, something between the two of them. We don't have too much time, and the film was absolutely incredible. Kristen, mind you, it is a 3-part series, so there is another part. Make sure you tune in to the premiere of the entire thing if those 2 first parts didn't get you hooked enough, just wait until the third. But Kristen, I want to start with you. You were a producer on multiple different ESPN films, right? And you're the director of this one. What made this story, the 1996 women's national team, a story you wanted to tell, and then one that you wanted to make 3 parts?
It's funny, Drea. This film actually was commissioned as a 1-part documentary. And we got our hands on 500 hours of footage from NBA Entertainment, thanks to Kathleen Reedy, who's here tonight, who works at the NBA. They came to us and they were kind of like, listen, we've only documented 2 teams as extensively as we did the 96 Women's Dream Team. And the only other team was the 97-98 Bulls. That obviously was the impetus to The Last Dance. And so she came to me and she was like, we have 500 hours of this footage, like, you guys should do something about it. And me being a huge, nerd, I like started popping tapes into these decks with my team and just watching all of that behind the scenes footage and all those wonderful moments. And that was the moment that I felt like this is gonna be something really special. And then that paired with the fact that I think the first interview that I did was a little bit over a year ago, and it was with Rebecca Lobo. And she walked in and she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be really honest about my experiences. And I think from there, I traveled around the country interviewing all of these women, and everybody told their truth. And from that, what they did on the court was incredible, and everybody, I think, knew that story, but I don't think people understood kind of all of the things they were facing off of the court. All the sacrifices, the pay sacrifices, giving up parts of their identities, obviously Ruthie's story, which she was so brave to share with us. And then there's, a lot of other human interest type stories behind the scenes in part 3 that you'll all see when you tune in on Wednesday. And so, thankfully, my bosses at ESPN Films, John Dahl, Brian Lockhart, Marcia Cook, I went to them and I was like, this can't be 1 part. Like, it would be doing a disservice to these women and their stories. And, it just so happened that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX. And so it was the perfect opportunity to make this a 3-part film. It's the first 3-part, multi-part, 30 for 30 film on female athletes.
We want to make a 10-part series because the story.
I'm going to get back in the edit room. I have my whole team here, so we'll all get back.
Coach,
that 10 hours.
Kristen talked about everybody being honest about what they went through and what they experienced, and I feel like in what we saw, you tapped in briefly to the pressure that you felt, but from your perspective, what was that pressure really like, and did you ever have a breakdown moment trying to be the leader of this team?
Andrea, I'll get right to that. Andraya, I'll get right to that. But I just first want to give a shout out to the women that are back there that are not up here. Jennifer, Ruthie,
Ladies, I don't know if you know this yet, but you'll be coming on stage as well, so don't get too much.
Also, thank ESPN and Kristen for all the tremendous amount of work that went into this. And it was obviously a lot of work that our team did to win the gold medal. Oh, I ruined part 3. I want to thank Carol Callum too. Thank you, Carol, for all your hard work. One of the things that I think about it, it's just really great to see so many of the team members that went through kind of this year. And I don't know if you noticed this in the film, but whenever you saw me, I was wearing red, white, and blue. Like, I was all in on winning the gold medal. And that was something that I was introduced on, it was a Friday, the 13th of April, as this is by Sam Newton. This is not about bronze. This is not about silver. This is about gold. And it was really clear what the mission was. So I did have kind of a maybe I don't want to say breakdown moment, but just a wow moment when on it was August 4th, 1995, and I knew the gold medal game was on August 4th, 1996. And I was in California, and I went running, and I did this big hill that I call it Olympic Hill, and I was going up the hill, and then I, got in the shower, and I started thinking, oh my gosh, what if in a year, we don't win the gold medal? I'm like, what if we're not in that game? And I really started having a panic attack. And then I just sat down and I told myself, you've got the best team, you've got the best players, you know what you're doing. Just the only thing that will stop you is if you have doubt, and if you have any doubt about winning the gold. And so I just said, get back in the shower, wash the doubt down the drain. And it was something that, looking at it, I just said, look forward to winning the gold medal. Look forward to all the everyday, enjoy the journey. And it was a very tough journey, but it was a fun journey. And it was something that it was fun to see the women grow so much and improve, not just on the court, but the team became very, very close. And it was really exciting. There was an amazing team that I never had to sit down with one person and say, hey, you need to get to practice or and there was no issues. As Jennifer said today, there's no drama. But I just want to, say that everywhere we went, we would be in the airport and people would say, bring back the gold. We would be running with President Clinton, bring back the gold. We would be with the Supreme Court justices, bring back the gold. So there was a lot of pressure on the team to win the gold medal. And I think you had to figure out a way to diffuse that pressure. And a lot of it was, I would go running with Carol every other day, and we would just go through everything that that we were doing right and the decisions that we had to make. And it was, I wouldn't trade the year for anything, but it was a very challenging year. And it was worth it to see the success that the team had.
Were there ever any moments, Tara, where you thought, maybe I'm being too tough? Or was that pressure the driving force throughout?
Well, I guess I'm kind of the parent that, maybe, you eat your vegetables and, you don't have candy all the time. And, with what you just heard with, playing against the Russians, them being, it was getting our team ready for that. And I would have been really doing a disservice to our team and trying to look at it. It wasn't, it wasn't anything. It was just like we're going to be in great shape. We had some players that came in. Again, this is 30 years ago, or I guess 26 years ago, and we had people that maybe weren't used to doing any weights, and people became very proud of how strong they were and how hard they could play. And was it challenging? Yes. The travel, the schedule, but it was purposely so that we could be successful. Can I just say one other thing?
Of course. You can say as much as you want.
Ruining the. But when we did win the gold medal, I've never really watched the game until last year. It was on television. I guess it was COVID, maybe COVID year, 2 years ago. So you're at home, you're not doing anything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the game's on, and I'm like, wow. That gold medal game, it was amazing. And I got 2 letters. I got a lot of letters, but I got 2 that I really remember. One had little fuzzy dogs on it, and the last name on it was Wooden. And the letter I got from John Wooden was, that was just an amazing team and how well the team played. And also one from Coach Knight. And it was really rewarding to just, again, watch how well the team played. And on top of the fact that they played so well, I'm going to ask Dawn to tell a real quick story about the team was extremely giving. We were in these places in China, and remember Cuba was there, and the Cuban team would call Dawn, and Dawn and Lisa would organize and get all stuff, clothes and stuff from, we're talking jog bras and shoes. What'd you give them, Dawn?
We gave them everything. Anything. We gave them. I collected money to give to them. We collected just, Nike gave us a whole lot of stuff. So the stuff that we didn't, I know you saw a lot of us in the red sweatsuit, or those red sweatsuits used to stand up by themselves when we took them off. But there was other clothing that we accumulated over the year, and we would just collect and give it to them because obviously they needed them, and they did give us a couple of cases of cohibas.
But it was just an amazing, like the team, they're just amazing women, and it was not just their basketball skill, but just the people that each one of them represented. And it was really exciting to be around that caliber of person.
Coach Staley, you just mentioned getting a couple cases of some things from the Cubans. I want to ask you, is there a story that maybe wasn't told that has to be told?
I mean, it really isn't a funny story, but I know you all saw a lot of footage from back then of our team. I had a camcorder that I was recording from day one all the way until after one hard practice. I'm gonna blame it on Tar. We're blaming everything on Tar tonight. But after one hard practice, I left my recorder and my videotapes on the bus. We would just take buses. By the time that I realized that I didn't have the recorder, we went back to the bus company and those tapes don't exist anymore. And we had I had a whole lot of footage. I know you saw Lisa with the mic in her hands, but we used to do that all the time. And another story I tell as well, we used to get bored. We used to be delirious because we were so tired. We would make up games. We'd be in each other's rooms. We would make up this game. It was called, then we played Make Me Laugh. Make Me Laugh. So Make Me Laugh was it was a person it was their turn. So they had to make somebody in the room laugh. Whoever laughed first had to come up and make us laugh. And I would say Carla McGhee was probably the funniest.
That's funny.
She could easily make someone laugh. We used to have to laugh fairly quickly for Lisa. She's not here. But some of her stuff wasn't really funny. We were tired of her being the it person, so we had to crack a smile.
Coach Staley, when you talk about playing games or being so tired or the togetherness of this team, what is the one thing, if you could take from that 1996 team and give it to every women's basketball player right now, what would you want them to have that you all had back then? We struck the perfect balance of working extremely hard, building up like mental toughness, and then creating friendships. Like if any one of us text or called, we would do anything. And if you look at the success of all the players on that team and what we're doing now and how involved we are in the sport, there isn't anybody on that 12-member team that is probably off the charts at how mentally tough we are. There isn't anything that we have faced after that point that we weren't successful at. And I would try to instill that mental toughness in every young person because they're going to need it to be successful. Would you say, Coach Staley, that that's the way you try and lead your teams now at South Carolina? What do you try and implement from your experience on that 96 team?
Well, when I got into coaching, I had experienced one Olympics. That was 1996, but I played USA basketball for quite some time, and on virtually probably every USA basketball team besides one. I think we got 7th place when I was a sophomore in high school. Sophomore in college. But every other team had this togetherness, this purity, this one team, one goal mentality. And that is what I try to capture in every team that I have. And for the life of me, and we've won 2 national championships, but it never had that feel. Like no other team has duplicated that feel of representing our USA basketball teams. So we fall short in that category because there's so many other distractions that come into collegiate play or WNBA play that never came into the sanctity of a USA basketball team.
Can we give a round of applause because we have the 2021 and 2022 national championship winners. Speaking of some of those challenges that athletes have to deal with now, and Coach VanDerveer, I'll go to you on this one because obviously both of you are still coaches. Are there things that you have had to learn to deal with now that you never had to deal with in 1996? Could you just focus on basketball? How has it changed?
Well, we didn't have cell phones over in Russia, so we had no texting, it was, in some ways, it was simpler, but it was, it is different now. No social media, it was very different. But in a lot of ways, I think that's what, it was tough, it was demanding, but to win a gold medal, it wasn't easy. And I think that, what Dawn was saying is the closeness of the team. They were incredibly unselfish. There was just tremendous joy to watch them play and how hard they played. And a lot of players now, I call it, they want to have the sweatshirt without sweating. This team sweat. You could see just see a little bit of it, but they worked and they played hard, and it's the way the game should be played.
We saw a lot of that sweat. We saw you sweating. We saw them sweating.
We all sweating.
Coach Staley, when you think about what you're doing now and the coach that you are now, what do you think is the most important piece for athletes moving forward? Like, where does it go from here? Because we've made progress from 1996 to where we are now, but there's still WNBA teams fighting for equality. How does it continue to move forward?
We got to be treated like a sport. You got to pour into our sport. You guys just said that we're the first 3-part series of women's or any women's sports.
Any women's sports, yeah.
Y'all clap really loud for that, though. Y'all clap. We're in 2022, and we still talking about the first of women's, college basketball history in 2022. So, how many docs? How many multi-episode docs are there in the NBA? Right? Yeah, we're happy about it. I think it's gonna open some people's eyes and they're gonna appreciate it, but we need people appreciating our sport and treating us like a sport. And, although, this is the first, we should tire of watching all the many stories that are being missed. This was a great part of history, but there was history before this, and there's history after this, but those stories aren't being told. So Kristen, you got your work cut out for you.
Taking notes right now.
And I want to end with this because I feel like, there are so many hard times and people going through so many different things. There are times where they want to give up. And so, Coach Staley, I'm going to hit you one more time. Was there a moment where you wanted to give up on that 1996 team. What was it? What was going on? And how did you choose to keep going?
You know, I was probably a little different than most. In that I told Tara how I felt. Like I was able to get my stuff out. But no, for me, no. This is what I wanted to do. Ever since I was a child, I saw women play in two events. One was the national championship game, and one was the Olympics. And I wanted to be a national champion, and I wanted to be a gold medalist. So, and then I got cut off the 1992 team, so this was my shot. So I wasn't gonna get beaten. You know, I was gonna be on the team. I wouldn't say that back then, but in my mentality was, I'm gonna be on the team. I'm just gonna make sure that, you know, everybody that's putting in their sweat equity during 95, 96, that they were gonna be with me. So, no.
Not even when I beat you in chess all the time?
Tar. No, you didn't teach me how to play chess.
No, when I beat you in chess all the time.
So sometimes,
These are ones that were left untold.
huh?
These are the stories left untold.
You know how Tara was breaking us down to build us up. I was building up her chess game.
And Kristen, I want to give you a chance because I know that there were so many people that were a part of putting this together. If you want to give them some recognition.
Absolutely. We have one of the most, we're small but mighty production teams that put this together and fought for this film and fought for it to be 3 parts. And I just need to shout all of those people out really quickly. Obviously, our bosses at 30 for 30 and ESPN Films, Brian Lockhart, Marcia Cook, John Dahl, Burke Magnus, thank you. Carol Stiff, who has spent her entire career moving things forward for women's sports. This film does not happen without Carol. She is a close friend and a confidant to all of these women. She's the reason that I was able to sit down and talk to all of them. Thank you, Carol. And then our production team that worked tirelessly for a full year around the clock, making this film what it is. They don't get the shout outs and they absolutely should, and they should be up here with me too. Gentry Kirby, Marquise Daisy, Kath Sankey, Adam Newhouse, Trevor Gill, Hannah Bear, and Riley Bloom, my 2 right-hand people. The most brilliantly talented editor, Matt McCormick, who's here tonight, who put this whole thing together. John Iaquinta, Ariane Sala, I hope I'm not missing anybody. Our wonderful DPs, Tom McCallum and Mike Balaka. We just had such a special team, and they all believed in this film, and I thank you so much.
I also just wanted to shout out a couple of other people too. Tara mentioned Carol Callan. Carol has, only thing Carol Callan does is win. She's been a part of the 7 gold medal teams that this team started. Her tireless work, she made everything seem like it was gonna be okay, even in the most dire situations. She's the one that actually had to eat all the foreign food because she was on the dais and had to eat. I don't know what she ate. She doesn't even know what she ate. What she ate half of the time. But Carol, thank you. And the assistant coaches. We had Renee Brown and Nell Fortner on the national team, which they pretty much did a lot of the work. And then once we got to the Olympic part of it, Nancy Darsh, may her soul rest in peace, Syl Berry and Marianne Washington were the other assistant coaches. And a lot of people had practice guys every step of the way. So all of those people that you may not see in the film was really a super part of making our journey a successful one. So.
And there were saw in the film that are not up here, but I would like to invite them up here. So will all the players that are here, you all can sit down if you like to. Sit down. Get comfortable, or you can stand. Standing looks good too. Now I'm going to invite Woki Dabo from our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion team.
Thank you so much for that. We wanted to really recognize the significant and important contributions these women made, not only on the court, but for the future of the game. And so we thought, how do we commemorate this film, this moment, and these women who are iconic? And we decided to reach out to our friends from General Mills, Kathy Dixon and Courtney Schroeder.
Yes, thank you. So Wheaties is and always has been a genuine American icon and a metaphor for greatness and for success. And we celebrate athletes who are at the top of their game. We celebrate those athletes that make a difference on and off the court. And tonight, in partnership with ESPN and General Mills, we are proud and we are honored to award each member of the 1996 United States Women's Olympic Basketball Team with their own custom wheaties. For 100 years, Wheaties has been inspiring the next generation of athletes. And tonight, we celebrate you.
In large part, what makes a Wheatie Box so special is that it captures a moment in time, a moment of celebration, a moment of achievement. But behind every moment, we all know there's a story. And tonight we heard a story, and we heard it well. As we think about the stories and the narratives that shape our understanding of history and culture, it's important that these stories continue to be told that might have been lost. I know I was inspired tonight, and I want to say thank you on behalf of General Mills for your story.
Before we close, I don't really need this. Before we close things out, I've been asked to give closing remarks. Can we give them another round of applause? And I'll just say while everyone is taking pictures, look at the cameras. As someone who grew up watching basketball, loving basketball, playing basketball, the game changed my life. I don't want to get emotional, but I can't say thank you enough because I saw basketball everywhere and I had big, big dreams, and it's because of you all. So thank you.
Oh, another picture of Ruthie.
Y'all be safe getting home. Thank you for you tune in June 15th.